Hi, I'm Ricky, CEO of Aiir, and I'd like to welcome you to our first ever live event. And this is the PlayoutONE by Aiir version 5 live event. We're excited to share some of the great new features that we have for you today in both PlayoutONE Standard and PlayoutONE Pro. Just under a week ago, we released a teaser video with some of those new features. So let's take a look at that. PlayoutONE version 5 is our first major release under the Aiir brand since our merger. That happened in January, and I can't believe it's been 6 months already. Joining me today is Air's COO, Dave Briley-Jones. Dave, an exciting day.
Oh, hello everybody. Hi Ricky. Sorry, as you come to me, the sun is just in a very awkward position, so I'm kind of just trying to edge over here a little bit. But that's the, I guess, the great British weather for you, isn't it?
Wonderful. Today, I know we've got some questions coming in. I just want to say that straight away. If you've got any questions, we're going to do a question and answer session at the end of the live. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you can make those comments right now, and our guys in the background will take us through those questions in a short time. I'm just going to cover one thing that I know is going to come up. Version 5. Instead of 4.11. This is the elephant in the room, and one thing that we've kind of try to keep as secret as we can internally. We made a decision back in January when we were working on version 4.11 to just pause, do some redesigning, do some regrouping after our merger. And it came apparent very quickly that we got a ton of features that we wanted to put into PlayoutONE, Standard and Pro, that 4.11 just wasn't going to cut it for us. So we made the decision internally to move straight to version 5. This is why it's taken us a little bit longer. And this is what we're going to show you today. So let's take a look at version 5.
Right, Ricky, let's start with the media editor because that's been redesigned from the ground up and it's something special.
And it's available in both PlayoutONE Standard and Pro. We're going to highlight the Standard and Pro features as we go along. What I really love about this is the zooming in and zooming out. You can just use your mouse to zoom in, zoom out. You can really craft your markers to the perfect point now. And I just absolutely love this. One thing that you might have spotted, but might not have straight away, is the new pencil icon that's right at the top of the media editor. This is our brand new feature. It's an audio editor. Lots of people asking for very quick destructive edits that you can do. If you've got a song, it's not a clean version, you need to take out a naughty word, you can now highlight the parts of the audio, reverse it using this very, very cool edit menu. But we've also got buttons at the bottom right here, which you can just press for very, very quick edits. So if you've got a piece of audio, we've all got an interview or something that we've recorded in and we just want to delete the audio at the end rather than just putting the marker in to be safe or delete something out, you can now just highlight that and hit delete. Super, super quick edit function that I absolutely adore in this. So I think you're going to love this in both PlayoutONE Standard and Pro. Now, for our Pro users, we've redesigned the daypart and run date menu. This is really, really cool. So from me here, you can enable and very quickly, if you want to take something out, let's say overnight, you just highlight the icons like this and boom, gone, done. You can set the dates, start and end, as you've always been able to, but it just means that you can really, really craft your day parting very, very easily and on the fly as well. Super nice, super simple. And that is our media editor. Now, let's talk about voice tracking, Dave, maybe?
Yeah, let's go to the Seg editor because that also has been redesigned from the ground up. And if I just hop over to the 8 p.m. hour here for you, I'm just going to open up a wonderful song from Bryan Adams and also look at this transition here. And, well, you can see it straight away. We now have envelope points.
Enveloping. This is super cool. I love this feature.
So what I'm doing here, I'm just altering the seg of Bryan Adams. It's already a fading song, but I want Bryan Adams to fade over this sweeper a little bit more than he was doing. And you can do that simply by dragging the existing envelope points, or you can add new ones. So if I want to place one here, I just click. I can add one here, here, and here. And you can really, I mean, you wouldn't do this, would you? But look, you can really make that fade sound as good or as bad as you want it to. You can also delete them as well. We just right click. And as you can see, they're popping off very, very easy. If I literally bring in the cores underneath as well, I can do fade ins. So I know lots of people have been asking for that. Look at that. So easy to use, so fluid, so responsive. It really is fantastic.
And again, PlayoutONE Pro and Standard, correct?
Yes, they're both getting these updates. We really wanted to bring the new and improved Seg editor to all of our users.
Now, let's talk about voice tracking. I know I mentioned that. You can do this now from in the Seg editor window.
Yes, you can. So for those of you that still like to use the button bar at the bottom here, that's still there. You can still use that. But if you really want to craft that voice track, you'll see this new button here on the Seg editor, little microphone. We press it and you'll see that the voice track is now recording. And if I now press the button again, as you're used to, the microphone is recording. Press it again to start the next item. Press it again for a fourth time, and I can choose to save. On this occasion, I'm going to hit no, because we don't want that in our log, because that was a terrible voice track. But that's how easy it is now to Seg edit and also voice track in the new Seg editor.
So our new Seg editor, available both PlayoutONE Standard, PlayoutONE Pro, in the control room. For those pro users that use WebVT, get ready for this. We've also got those exact same enveloping and that entire toolkit available now in WebVT.
Look at this. I'm just really going to town on these envelopes. They are going to sound wonderful on the air. You also get the ability with the new Seg editor in WebVT to control how much or how little you see of it. So if I make this double the height, or you can go really small. It really now depends on what screen you're using, what device you're using. You can personalize it to your screen and not have it fixed at a certain width.
And we differ on both of this. You prefer it smaller at the bottom, and me personally, I like it large at the top when I'm voice tracking because I use the lovely arrows to go to my next voice track, and I'm just really, really interested about crafting that. This is great. If you're out on location, if you're recording from home, or if you're recording from your desk inside the radio station, you can now craft with those envelopes inside WebVT. You guys are going to absolutely love this.
Now, the next thing we're going to show you is really exciting. It's Audio Engine.
Audio Engine is a brand new way to play audio through PlayoutONE. Now, it's important to add, we've been working on this for an incredible amount of time. What is an audio engine? Well, at the moment, if you have PlayoutONE Pro installed, you can play one radio station at a time. If you want to set up another station, or you have two stations in your cluster, you need another computer. The audio engine allows you to have many stations running from the same box. That's the first element of Audio Engine. And as you're seeing right now, there's lots of input. You can see a very quick log. You can have multiple versions of this. You can see that the radio station right now is playing out of player 2, but it also has an incredible advanced routing system that's built into it as well. This means for the first time, you'll be able to run PlayoutONE Pro completely standalone in the cloud, running multiple stations. What if you don't have multiple stations? Well, maybe you want to do a spin-up station or grow in the future. Or if you're just happy to have your single station, you can do a lot of routing, which means that you don't have to have multiple computers inside of your building anymore. This can all run from a standalone single system. And it's fantastic. Dave, do you want to talk to us more about the audio routing?
Yeah, so this is really exciting. So in the output section here, you can see that we've got a matrix grid. A to P are your output buses, so that's where you can send audio to, and you'll notice that now you can have up to 8 players in PlayoutONE. Now, if you don't want to, you can have 4 as you are used to, or you can have 1, 2, 3. It's totally up to you. You can customize it the way you want it. If we take a look at the input section, you can bring in 8 inputs. So this is really, really useful if you, for example, run a news talk station or a sports station, or you take a feed such as network news. You can have that coming straight into the audio engine, and you can then turn it on and off, control levels, send it to different outputs. It really is that flexible. Did I also mention, I don't think I did, that each input, each output can have its own DSP or VST. So that's really cool. You can process the output, you can process an input. Recently, we had a test case where we brought in a studio feed and then we streamed that out to multiple different locations. In the past, with live stream, for example, you would have to process each output independently. Not with Audio Engine. You just process the input and then the outputs are already done. Very, very simple indeed. We also have a very, very sophisticated salvo function. Think of salvos as snapshots. So perhaps when you are live in the daytime, you may have the audio from Audio Engine coming into the control room, but when everybody goes home at night and you want to take the studio off air, you perhaps want to route that audio via a switcher direct to air so the studio can be used for other things. Well, with Audio Engine and the salvo functionality, you can do that with a one-click command direct in PlayoutONE. And talking of commands, I think you're going to speak a bit more about that, Ricky.
And with that powerful routing, your log is going to need some commands. So we've rebuilt Command Manager entirely from scratch. And this is a fantastic addition working alongside the new Audio Engine. It's going to make routing and changing of audio sources within PlayoutONE incredibly simple.
It really is. I love using the new Command Manager. It's so easy to make a command. And I look forward to seeing what our users do with Audio Engine and commands, because we get some wonderful scenarios that we've not even thought of. Audio Engine is a pro-only feature, and if you would like to speak to us about using Audio Engine at your station, then of course you can contact us after this live. And it's important to say, I think, Ricky, that these are just some of the headline features we were able to squeeze into this short demo. There are plenty of other things in version 5 that we'd be here for hours talking about everything. So there will be a full list in our changelog that you can go and see and find out what new features are coming to version 5. I think now, though, should we come back on screen and let's take some questions? I think that would be good if there are any.
Yeah, I think the first question, I just want to pick up on what you just said, actually. Is there anything that we've not shown people that we've got coming up? And one of the things that jumps to mind is something internally known as, I guess, externally now, Xlog. Do you want to talk to people about what Xlog is and what people can expect to be able to use with it?
Yeah, and as I just said, there is so much packed into this version 5. It's quite incredible. But let me just touch on Xlog, because if you operate a sports station, or perhaps you run a music station and you take sports for some of the time, it's been a challenge in the past to sort of get that transition right. A sports log is very different to a music log. And so what we've done is we've built this brand new module called Xlog, which sits pretty much alongside the main log, but it just houses all those breaks, all those commands. So, for example, I was in Canada literally two weeks ago with Dan, who's producing this. Thank you, Dan. And we went to our first baseball game. Now, baseball is a very, very fast-paced game, but if the weather comes in and there's rain, you can't play baseball. So what happens is the baseball game, what's known in the business, they do a rain delay. And a command comes in and your log basically has to pick back up and continue on with something. Well, with Xlog, that's fine because all the commands for the baseball game are over here. Your main log is intact over here. So we just go, bloop, flip over. And then when the game comes back, bloop, we come back over again. I'm also trademarking that sound, blop.
Blop. Thank you very much. Sound effects available free of charge. Thanks. One of the things I just want to pick up on, it's great looking at all of the things that you can touch and feel in this new version. But a lot of it is in the back end, things that people won't see. And I can't tell you how proud I am of the team that have been diligently working on this, testing it. The robustness and the reliability has been paramount for version 5. And although it's not something, as I said, you can physically touch and feel, it's been a massive part of the development of this version.
Yeah, I mean, Gosh, I need to shout Chris Oakley, who's our lead developer on this project, because he has worked absolutely tirelessly to deliver this. He feels it very personally. It's his baby. And it really is, as you said, the lot has gone in behind the scenes. You know, when you take your car for a service and it just seems to drive better. You know, they've cleaned out the spark plugs. They've done bits and pieces. That's exactly what we've done. We've gone through the whole program and we've given everything a good look at. And where we can make just a very slight efficiency saving, we've done it. And so I think you will definitely feel that when you install it. You will go, wow, this just feels so snappy. I mean, you saw when we were bouncing around the seg editor, especially in WebVT, it's beautiful. It's so fluid. It's awesome. It really is.
Cool. Right. Let's have a look at some questions, I think. Let's see if we can get some questions on the screen and go through a few things. Thanks to everybody who's joined us, by the way. It's incredible to have you along. Yeah, that's a very good question. Dave, when is it going to be released?
Oh, do we have to give that away? You know, I hate committing to things. No, we are going to release this in July, very early July. I mean, Ricky, if you want to say the date, I'm going to leave that to you. The spotlight is on you. Ricky said it, everybody. It's
July 10th. We're going to release this on the 10th. And again, there's a few questions that are coming in, and I know that a lot of people are asking about the standard and the pro. There's different processes of upgrading pro and upgrading standard. But standard will be available. You'll be able to update that yourself. Anyone that's had that license, you'll be able to do that straight away. Mitchie, thanks for joining us. I know you're busy with your FCC LPFM window, so I appreciate you taking time out to join us and asking that question. Yeah, the pro version, we're going to be able to upgrade you pretty quickly on that as well and get you guys booked in. Then when it comes to standard, we're going to do a special deal for standard as well. So if you're on the shelf, if you're joining us on the fence, sorry, and you're joining us and thinking about opting to maybe purchase standard, there's going to be an incredible deal the first week that we launch this. So get ready for that. For pro users, if you're thinking about upgrading from standard, you should definitely get in contact with us right now to inquire about our on-air package. It's an incredible low price deal where you get pretty much everything that we do. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, it really is. Awesome so package. Super affordable and a nice new special offer coming for standard for you to buy version 5 straight away. But if you have version 4, someone commented on Facebook yesterday that they're still on version 2 of standard. Congratulations. That's brilliant. But you can upgrade to 5 for free. It's not going to cost you anything.
Absolutely. Now, this one's interesting. Gordon Wilson's been in touch. Thank you, Gordon. Will this version have more utilities for managing the database? Well, the answer to that is no, because with PlayoutONE itself, it just has a self-maintenance plan in it, so you don't actually need it. But if there's something specific, Gordon, that you're after, then please drop us an email via the support line, and we can get in touch with you about that, because it sounds like you've got something maybe in mind that you want to do. So love to chat.
Great. More questions.
Chris. Our good friend Chris over at Kensington Media. Does this audio engine replace the need for a switcher in my local tech center? The answer, Chris, well, as you saw from the video we were just demoing, you can bring in different sources into the audio engine, turn them on, route them to different places. So it in effect, we believe that this could, in some certain scenarios, and we'd have to discuss it in more detail, it could replace certainly a switcher, yes.
Yeah, for people who are using audio over IP, so a couple of my radio stations, for those who don't know, I own radio stations in the USA. We have an Axia network, but we have one of our stations trialing the audio engine, and we've been able to do very, very clever switching, especially in the log, where we can free up a studio completely at the end of someone's on-air shift, just by literally having commands in the log. Now, technically, we are using an X node to do that, but there are some use cases now where we just don't need to do that. The X node is still going to send the audio out to the transmission sites. Yeah, the routing and the salvo stuff in the back, I know it gets a little too complicated even for me, but it's just phenomenal. The fact that we've got live stream in there as well, so you can literally put a stream directly into the audio engine.
I think it's worth just pointing out one of our clients who signed with us 2 weeks ago. They literally have Audio Engine running on their server. They've got 5 control rooms, but with Audio Engine running on the server, any control room can control any station because the audio is not actually coming from the control room, it's coming from the server. So it frees up studio space and allows you to be so much more creative with your space that you've got in your facility. It's wonderful.
Awesome. I'm just scrolling through questions. There's so many of them. There's so many coming.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you joining us live.
Stuart, you're going to need some help with the audio routing. That's why we have an amazing support team. Shout out to our support team as well. These guys in the background, as well as supporting you on a day-to-day basis, learning Audio Engine, brand new. They need to be able to support you on this. Learning everything to do with the new enveloping, the audio editor, everything. They've been diligent at going through this, and they are ready to support you and ready to upgrade you. So, guys, thank you. Amazing team that we have, and I'm super proud of them.
The manual's this thick. It's taking a while to get through it.
On that subject, though, the one thing I will say is that as well as doing this live, a couple of people have asked, is it going to be available afterwards? The answer is yes. I think once it's done, Facebook will process it and post it, and then we're going to keep the video for a while on our YouTube channel. We're also upgrading our YouTube channel as well. So there's going to be very, very short, precise videos on how you do stuff. So if you haven't got time to sit through the full intro video, which I think is about 30-40 minutes long, we're going to do little sound bites and video clips for you to be able to just opt in. And how do I add audio is a random example. It will just be a 5-minute video that will just show you how to do that. So very, very cool. We're looking forward to releasing those videos, and I'm super excited about that as well.
John Stevens, hi John, thank you very much for watching. Has Live Mic been upgraded? John, let me tell you, it's not just been upgraded, it's been rewritten from the ground up. Big shout out to Dan Parker, who basically has been spearheading this project with Chris as well. The audio quality, I can't tell you, it is fantastic. I hope you notice the difference. I certainly can. Yes, is the short answer. It has been upgraded.
I'm just looking through, there's so many questions. I don't know if we're going to have time to answer them all. If we do miss your question and you want to catch up with us afterwards, just email hello@aiir.com and Dave and I will get to as many questions as we can after the live. One, I just saw one and it's just scrolled down. Where did that go?
Kenny brings up a very good point, actually, and if we can bring that on screen, that would be good. Basically, he's asking, when it comes to Kenny, but Kevin's great as well. Hi, Kevin. We'll answer your question as well.
Renaming everybody. Thank you, Daniel, who joins us live as
well. Kevin makes a good point. How easy is this going to be to install? Because it is a major upgrade. We're going to have full instructions on how to do that. The good news is it's very simple. It's just next, finish.
Yeah.
And you'll be up and running. But that's why we have our amazing support team. They're on hand to help. But full documentation videos will be available on the 10th of July so that you can do it yourself if you want.
Yeah, and don't feel afraid to ask for support. And this is because the Audio Engine is a big deal. It's a big change. This is why we've kind of wanted to hold out, and 4.11 isn't a thing. 5 was always going to be the thing. And I'm so glad we can now talk about that publicly, so we can stop ignoring answering people's questions and hiding questions, so we can get this reveal out of the way. Audio Engine is a big deal. It is massive, and it is a heavy piece of software. So it's going to need some education. And pro users, we can help you support that and install that and get that all working for you. I think you're going to be really, really excited to get it.
One thing that you touched on literally a minute ago was brand extensions, being able to literally spin up a Christmas station. It's July 4th in the US in a couple of days' time. A July 4th station, you can literally spin up as many sort of splinter brands as you want with minimal effort. It really is that flexible. And you said live streams baked inside it. So is Live Mic. So literally the whole station is in this box. And you just have it there running, and you can control it from WebVT. And well, when you see it, you'll know what we mean when we say it's pretty powerful, very, very powerful.
I'm going to talk briefly about Air Scheduler. A couple of people asking about standard with scheduling music and stuff like that. There's been no major upgrades to Auto DJ or Template Builder if you're using that in Pro as such, because we are concentrating on Air Scheduler. I cannot tell you how many people have signed up for our beta. It is overwhelming. We have a very, very small select group of people using Air Scheduler right now, going through the beta process. And I think what we've proved with PlayoutONE version 5 is that we're not just willing to rush it and get it out the door as quickly as we can, because we want you to have something that's robust. So we have a crack team of specialists and users going through Air Scheduler right now, finding every little bug, features that we may have missed, or things that we haven't really thought about. We're still planning on that being released publicly towards the end of the year. But throughout the summer, we're going to introduce a few more people that have signed up for the beta. So you don't need to message us and say, have you got my email or anything like that? If you've already registered, you're in the beta process. We've just got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and we just want to get through that first initial beta process before we let people in. Another very, very quick question. Someone said about Music Master working with standard. Music Master will work with standard. It just doesn't have the Nexus plugin. That's important. That is part of Pro. There's many technical reasons why that is not part of standard. Our living log being one of them. So no, you won't have Nexus, but yeah, speak to Music Master. Music Master will definitely make Music Master work with PlayoutONE standard for sure.
I'm conscious we've only got a couple of minutes left here, but Steve makes a very good point. Steve Freegard, hi Steve. Basically, he's a bit nervous about the audio engine just coming in. You have to enable audio engine. Our team have to come in and set it up. So don't feel scared that if you run this update, all of a sudden everything's going to change. That's not going to happen. It's not turned on by default.
Yeah. So the legacy way of the system working, if you have a standalone station, you can keep that way for the time being. It's a gradual thing that you can, I guess, grow into if you need to. So yeah, very, very good question. And I think that's about all we've got time for. So I think we should wrap up. If you've got any more questions, please do message us, hello@aiir.com. If you're on social media, we'll try and get to them. But please do get in touch. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, we recommend that you jump on that. It's a great community of all PlayoutONE users. Just search for PlayoutONE community group on Facebook. So,
yeah, and I have to say, Ricky said it. We're committing to it. It's the 10th of July. The version 5 is coming out. So make sure you stay tuned to our Aiir website, aiir.com. All the details will be on there. And as Ricky also said, very exclusive deal starting on July the 10th for standard users. If you're already a user or you want to buy a standard copy, you will not want to miss this deal.
Guys, thank you for joining us today. I really do appreciate your time. And for those watching later, if you have any questions, hello@aiir.com. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.